Hey there, it's Eli for 8Fit Heroes and 8-Bit Heroes. Wanted to post a quick update before I go for a run today. It's been a tough, maybe 10 days sticking to my running plan. Been able to do it, but it's been really challenging. I've been on a lot of nights and weekends at the emergency department, really exclusively overnights, and it's part of the gig, but it does make it tough when you're trying to stick to a running schedule. Kind of to keep an idea of what my running schedule is during a marathon training plan, or half marathon training plan in this case. I like to do a long run on Sundays, so those are my true distance runs at a half marathon pace, what I'm intending to run at. And so that's, you're looking at, you slowly escalate that up until you get to 10 or 11 miles in most plans. You usually don't run the full 13 in a training plan. And then I'll take Monday off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll usually do some other runs. Tuesdays and Thursdays will tend to be what I call easy runs. They're at a slightly slower pace than my marathon pace, but they'll be really just sort of to increase your weekly distance. And then Wednesdays, I'll usually do a tempo run, which is about really increasing your speed, your pace per mile, that sort of stuff. I'll take Friday off again, and then plus minus a run on Saturday. And when you're working overnight and sleeping during the day, it can be challenging. And then on top of that, my daughter was sick last week, so I was home with her during the day, and it just made it difficult for me to get out and do much running. Today's Tuesday the 13th. I was not able to run Sunday because it was raining, and I wasn't able to run yesterday because it was a situation where I was having to take care of my daughter during the day. And so I'm going to actually do my distance run today. It's like 8.1 miles on a Tuesday. But it kind of throws everything off, because that means tomorrow, on Wednesday, I am supposed to be doing a tempo run, kind of by my plan. But I don't want to be doing a tempo run, something that's a little more intense, the day after I do a long distance run. So I'm going to have to sort of tweak my schedule this week and really try and make it work. But I did briefly want to touch on an app that I use, and I certainly wanted to start out with this app first, and that's Zombies Run. It's made by a company called Six to Start, and certainly 8-Bit Heroes, 8Fit Heroes, myself, none of us are involved with Six to Start or Zombies Run in any way, as a full disclosure. However, it's something that I really, really love and really use, and I think it got me into running. Something a lot of people have said is I hate running. I don't like running, and I get that. I did not like running for a long time. I think there's a couple factors, though. I think one, you have to run for the right reasons. If you're doing it because you just have to go for a run, that's kind of miserable, and I can see where that comes from. The other thing is, I think it's important to be able to get to a point where you're running without really expending a ton of effort. Certainly it's a workout. Certainly you get to the end of a long run and you're exhausted, you're tired. But it shouldn't be hard while you're running. You should be able to breathe kind of on a nice regular pace. You should not be hurting while you're running. And I think once you get up to that level of stamina, by building slowly, starting with a walk-run program and increasing your pace and your distance, once you get up to a part where you're running at a certain pace without really any difficulty physically, I think you'll find that you like running a lot more. But the other thing that I think really made me fall in love with running was this app, Zombies Run. And it's fundamentally a pretty straightforward, pretty simple app. It's a fitness app that pipes in story during your run. And so the premise is that you are in the first episode in a helicopter, and you're shot down out of the sky in a post-apocalyptic zombie world. And it's set in the United Kingdom. And you have to run for your life, and you wind up becoming a member of this township called Able Township, and you become part of their core of runners, and they give you the designation Runner 5. So it's real gender neutral, and you can kind of fit yourself into the story in your own mind's eye any way you like. And as you go, you're on a run. It's keeping track of your run. It's keeping track of your pace and all that sort of stuff. You can play your own music, but periodically it'll pipe in, turn your music down, and give you some bits of story, whether that's a supply mission where you're going to get supplies, you're trying to figure out who has caused this zombie plague, maybe you're trying to rescue somebody, and it's set in seasons. There's currently 6 seasons, with a 7th season set to come out this spring. And I think early on in my running, that got me really passionately engaged in running. I wanted to know the next part of the story. I wanted to know what happened next to Runner 5 and to the people that I'd come to know through the story in Able Township, and that sort of incentive to keep running, that story, that game element, certainly added to it. There's a base building component. It's certainly not really the highlight of the app. That highlight is the story, but it's sort of a fun thing to do as you collect supplies and materials. You can build your base. It starts with Janine's farmhouse, which is the center of Able Township, and you start to build defenses and farms and bunks and things like that. And as you progress and move through the story, you get more materials and more supplies, and you can build more things. You can upgrade those things to a base of your choosing. It's, like I said, certainly not the part of the game that I think is the most full-featured or the most exciting, but it adds a little element to it as well. The other thing that's kind of fun is the zombie chases. I usually run with them disabled because I'm training based on a certain pace, but you can enable zombie chases, and periodically it will you'll start to hear zombies coming up behind you, and you have to increase your pace, how fast you're running, or you start to lose supplies. And it's a way for you to sort of increase your pace, increase your distance, and that sort of stuff during runs, and it can be kind of exciting. Like I said, I typically don't do that because I've got my own sort of pace and plan that I'm working on. So you can enable and disable those. But it's a really terrific app. I think it's sort of revolutionized the way I think about running, and it adds a game element, that really tickles my interests, from that perspective. It's not just going out and running to some distance arbitrarily. It's running to a mission to rescue some child that's been stuck in a barn and is being surrounded by zombies, or whatever that story may be. And so I certainly cannot recommend enough Zombies Run. It's on both app stores. They have a very, very low price, like a subscription model that you use. It's very cheap compared to what you get, and then they have virtual races that I've competed in all of those, where those are twice a year. There's a spring race and a Halloween race, and you're running against virtually other people. So your time gets posted on a scoreboard with all the other people that pay to join the virtual race. You can get T-shirts and pins and patches and all sorts of different things. It's a tremendously good time. The stories are amazing. They're kind of standalone stories set in the post-apocalyptic zombie world. So if you're looking for an app to kind of help motivate you to get in the running and that sort of thing, I cannot stress enough how great Zombies Run is. So with that, I'm going to go. I've got an 8.1 mile run to get to today. I work overnight tonight, predictably, but then I'm off tomorrow and Thursday, so I'm hoping to kind of catch up on my running then as well. So until the next time, for 8 Fit Heroes and 8-Bit Heroes, I appreciate you watching and look forward to the next time.